The next tone we're going to concern ourselves with as a target is the flat 7. This is a colorful tone, and it actually brings out the dominant tonality here. Go ahead and look at example, or diagram 8 rather, and look at all your flat 7s. And as I moved up the neck, I moved according to those octaves. I have those 3 G's, and then I have the G's here, the G's there, so you can see what's going on. Well, this flatted 7th has a color. Each note has its own color. I want you to listen to what I'm going to play. I'm going to use the flat 7 as a target, and you'll hear how it wants to resolve someplace. Okay, the flat 7 is alright, but it demanded some closure. What are we going to close with? Well, we note the root is the strongest tone. We note the 5th is the second strongest tone. Now we start assembling, generating some riffs by using this information. Why don't you just target? Here's your flat 7. Let's go to the second string, for example. Here's my flat 7. Here's my root. Here's my 5th. Now, which was the strongest note? The root. Second strongest? 5th. And then we have the flat 7. I'm just going to play a little bit around those notes, but listen to how I start organizing the ends of my riffs, the closure of my musical sentences, so to speak. Could you hear that, how I used each of these notes to help develop a longer paragraph, so to speak, not just little short licks. You can play that way, but the long line is a better way to solo. It helps you create melodies that have continuity. And you hear me talk about this all the time in my lessons involving soloing. And the only way you're going to be able to do this is to keep your phrasing together and to look a little further down the road musically. Don't just look at the immediate groove and what you're playing right now. Say, what do I want to hear for an entire 8-bar or 4-bar phrase? Okay, so that was looking at the flat 7, the 5, and the 1. Well, there's a resolving tendency with this flat 7. It generally it likes to move up to the root. I mean, just listen to it. If I sit and play a lick. You could hear that flat 7. And along these lines, there are some moves that you can do. You could slide, you could bend up to it. And I'm going to cover that much more in depth where I give you the actual moves. Like, you're going to learn some riffs that are flat 7 to 1, and we'll go through all the different ways to play those licks. So I don't want to, reveal everything this early for what you're going to learn. But that's a flat 7 to 1 move. Well, the flat 7 will also resolve down to the 5th, because you see what you're doing is you're targeting strong tones. If I go like... And that's a long line. I might have kind of disguised it too much for you. Let's just look at it. That's a little easier for you to hear, like... There's my flat 7 just moving down. That's the sort of stuff we're going to study when we learn the exact moves. But that's using the flat 7 as a target and actually resolving somewhere else. So make sure that you see all of the flat 7s. What I'd like to do at this point is play a little bit all over the neck, and I'll try to play a little slower so you can see this. I'll be using the roots, the 5ths, and the flat 7s as targets. But remember how I'm going to organize things. I don't want to leave an open-ended line, so if I did that, I'd use the flat 7. I'll close with a 5th or a root for the strongest sound. And listen to the way I just build the phrases. I'll keep them really simple for you. And we'll move all over the neck. And hopefully at this point you're starting to see the entire fingerboard, just as these diagrams represent.